like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yes. Am I awake or am I dreaming? So far gone, I won't look back. And when I move, there ain't no stopping me. You're pushing me up to the top. I saw the clouds looking angry, but then the sky reached my mind. And when I space out, I see the possibilities unfolding the way that I want. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You cut me loose. You make me win in every way. Win in every way. You show me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You show me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yes. 'Cause I'm the winner, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah.
Yeah, baby. We are doing podcast batching day. We are having our very, very first guest here today. But I'm so excited for podcast batching day. This is something we usually do on the third Friday or Thursday of the month, depending on where you are in the world. But we had to bump it this month because I was actually speaking at a conference last Friday. Well, Thursday, Friday, I was pretty tired on the Friday. But I'm so excited. We've got an amazing lineup of guests for you today. So as you're jumping in on, make sure you comment, you chat, and you can even ask questions of our podcast guests. We've got three amazing people lined up for you today. We got the one, the only, the deep, sexy voice, the Doc Rock himself joining us. He will be our first guest. You'll get to meet him soon. Then we have Johan. Johan will be joining us as well. And I am so looking forward to Louise, Delegate or Die. You know, I always say you've got to be rad in business, which means you've got to replicate your content, right? Duplicate it on out. You've got to automate everything you can, and you should be delegating so that you can work on only the things that you're good at and hire yourself out of all the things that you don't like. But today we have an amazing lineup. So if you want to know what time the podcast guests are on so you don't miss a thing, then head to here, sparkleclassacademy.com/calendar, and you'll see our lineup of guests and also what their content is, and then all the other free content that we put out there for you as well. So, are you excited for today? Yes, Joyce as always loves podcast batching day. Megan's joining us. Yay! And also, it looks like it's Deanne's birthday. I think I saw on the 9th of July. Well, happy birthday. I believe we sent you a birthday gift, if I am not mistaken. Love it. Yay, Mar. All right. Now, Mar's amazing. Mar is actually my podcast manager. So she's been organizing all the things in the background for today. But today we are specifically here in this episode is to record our podcast. Now, it will go out on all the great podcast channels later on, but we like to record it live as well because I love live. I did that whole crazy 365 days of going live, and it's a huge part of our business model, teaching people to have the confidence to go live. Today's guest he's a thinker. He's a creator and a maker. He sees the world and all of the possibilities that is available to you. He believes that the only way to share as a collective and have amazing experiences is to learn from our failures and to keep on striving forward for that perfect way that you can go live and extend your genius to the world through the amazingness of live and the possibilities that comes with it. Now, he's on a mission to positively touch billions of people's lives by collaborating, sharing stories and ideas. He works as a YouTuber, a trainer, a speaker, a podcaster, a moderator, and a designer, and he's helped people on the path to achieve so many things. Now, he recently founded the Let's Get Live community and has helped to rapidly expand that platform for helping others learn how to grow together. I'm so excited to announce the amazing, the fabulous, the deep, sexy talking man himself, Doc Rock. Yeah, baby.
I was
We
like, I
love
should
Doc
just
Rock.
throw you and say nothing for 5 minutes because you gave that incredible intro. Oh, I think we just muted. I can't hear you now. I heard you all the way up until
What
just
happened?
now. What
Hey,
happened? There we
something
go.
happened.
There you go. You're
Somebody.
back. You're good.
I'm back. See, Doc Rock's been teaching me things about Ecamm in the background, like how do I do all these things that I've always wanted to know how to do for the podcast. So he's amazing. He also, I learned so much from him because if you don't know, every year I pick one thing that I want to get really good at and I focus on like going deep. And this year is the year of Ecamm. So I don't know how many like Ecamm tutorials I've sat through with you. And I've learned so much. And I know sometimes like I'll send you a message and you'll be like, just jump on in, let's figure it out. And I really love that about you. So Doc Rock, introduce yourself to our audience. Let them know who you are and, you know, why you do what it is that you do.
Well, I am my friends and family, they call me a Swiss Army nerd, right? Because I like all myriad types of thing. And in the past, I think what got me on this track is when, I was a kid, we didn't have such terminologies as ADD or ADHD. You were just weird, right? But I was the person that had to like constantly be doing something or even better, doing something where I am learning something. If I was in that mode, I was fine. If I was left to be idle, you know that saying about idle hands and the devil? Yeah, my grandmother said that to me a lot because I did all kind of weird and strange things. So when I got into sort of the live streaming and sort of YouTube coach, I say content creation coach now because it's more than just live streaming. I did it as a way to help businesses reach bigger audiences and just provide better them to their
Mm,
people. A lot of people, especially product oriented people, they're sort of stuck on this concept of competing on price and I'm so against that, or competing on, well, let me just make it cheaper quality, not even just cheaper price, cheaper quality. And I'm like, if you offer people something that's priced properly and done at a scale or a level where they will get positive impact, positive enjoyment out of it, you don't have any reason whatsoever to discount you. Right. And a lot of our discounting comes from weird stuff that other people told us when we were little and nothing to do with us. Right.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show people that you can operate at a higher level, and that just requires letting people know more about you. When they see that you're really, really in tune with your product and you're about that life, people feel bad when you charge too little bit, right? If you're
Yeah.
providing good. So why not set yourself up by telling these stories and putting the story behind the brand, letting the people see the people behind the brand. A brand is nothing without you.
Yes.
And
It's
we vibrated
beautiful.
instantly because you came on and your spark, which is funny because your name.
I know.
And
How
then,
lucky am I? Thank you, Dad.
right, right. And then you had the whole purple trip going. And I was like, fam, this is my G right here. We're good. We're square. We're going to be friends forever.
I know. Yes, Doc Rock is a fan of the purple, so we gelled straight away. And like, I love what you said there about, not putting your prices down and not putting the quality down, because you can only go down as far as zero, right?
Correct.
But you can always
Correct.
add more value, and you can go infinitely higher when it comes to value. And we run a boutique style business, which means we only take on a selected few, but we give so much value in what it is that we do. And I remember the day, like, I was scared to charge. I think that as creatives, as people who want to help people, sometimes we feel a little sort of like we want to help everybody. But your stories, your content, and put all of that out there, right? And then some people
Yes.
will pay. Your business shouldn't be a charity. Make lots of money in your business so you can help other charities.
And okay, I learned this from somebody in the Ecamm community, actually, my buddy Lemuel. He was the one that put me onto it. And it's not sustainable, right? If you just constantly give it all away, it's not sustainable. And it's funny because you touched on the point. If you reach your bottom down to zero because you're trying to be too helpful, no matter how much value you give later, sometimes it's harder to come back up. It's harder to go to that person who you've been giving it away free forever and be like, okay, now you're occupying a lot of my time, and now you have made it so you can afford to pay my rate. Let's work out something where you pay me. And they will get a little bit, they get a little bit testy. And I was like, man, I've been giving you thousands and $1,000s worth of free services for like 4 years. Now, like, you got the money, you still ain't ready to pay, and they don't understand. And so that's why it's bad. So even when I do stuff for free for my friends, I make them buy me lunch or give me like $1 or something. Like, they have to have some skin in the game. And I learned it from my dad.
Yeah.
If I was to ask my dad a question, he would be like, go give me a pack of smokes. And I'm like, what? It's a simple question. And he goes, this is simple to walk across the street, buy me a pack of cigarettes. And I'm like, well, why? He goes, free information, people throw it away. Because you had to pay, $4 for this pack of cigarettes, whatever I tell you, you will never ask me again because you'll remember it because you paid for it.
Yes.
No, I used to
Yeah.
curse him out, but it works.
It does. We used to actually give away our program. Like, we used to do scholarships, and they would have to apply, go through an interview process to get in, and then they would get our program for free. Every single scholarship student that didn't pay never did anything, never finished. They might turn up for a couple of lessons, right? But
Wow.
like, our program's like $25,000, and we discounted it for scholarship and charged $2,000. So we made them at least put a little bit of skin in the game. And guess what? Some of our best students from the scholarship program then, because they actually put a little bit of skin in the game, actually started showing up for themselves. It's a huge, huge thing.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy how it works. But hey, but you know what they say, bump by you learn.
Yeah. Well, we actually, why I was really excited about your topic today was because it's about podcasting. And, I'm learning how to use Ecamm this year and also get consistent with batching my podcast episodes once a month. And your topic today is all about podcasting, the future with Ecamm. So this is like like I was in the background setting up settings that I always wondered where they were, and Doc's like, with his eyes closed, go to preferences, click this thing, click that thing. I mean, if anyone wants to learn how to do Ecamm, how often do you actually go live and teach how to use Ecamm?
All
It's
right.
often,
So
isn't
that's
it?
an amazing question. I am live roughly 6 days a week. And the
Yeah.
reason why I say this is an amazing question because I love something you said at the onset. You said you like to take something and attack it for like a year. And I think there's a valuable lesson in it. I'm in the middle of a book called One Thing by a guy named Gary Keller, I believe. And it's called The One Thing. And it really talks about like hammering down and focusing on one thing. So somebody who started before me a couple of months ago asked me a question, and I was kind of angry that he asked me because I thought he should know better. Because when I came in, he was already a quote unquote established, Ecamm user, and he's like, "Bro, how do you get so good?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I stream 6 days a week. Like it's not that hard. Like what are you doing?" And it comes to find out that there are people who literally use it to do their show, and then that's it.
Mm.
And then they wonder why they don't become better at it. Like even the people who say, "Well, I'm uncomfortable on camera." The best way to get comfortable on camera, first of all, let's reframe that. Please, everyone, stop saying that because I have well over 10,000 hours on camera. I've been in television, movies, I was a radio jock for years. Yeah, I just been on camera forever.
You have that
And
radio voice. You do.
it does not. My boss used to say I had a face for radio. It does not get any easier. So let's just put that away. And with all of it, you talk to celebrities who are like movie stars, right? You could talk to Matthew McConaughey and you'll get a all right, all right. He's not comfortable on camera either. There's no such animal. It doesn't exist. So throw it out and just know what we do is we mentally block it because we know we have a task to do, right? When you have a headache, right? Like a minor one, let's give you like a 3-4 headache. You got to feed the kids. You don't even think about that headache. Let me feed these kids because if I don't, they're going to turn my 3-4 headache into an 8. And then I'm going to be on the news talking about mom snapped or something. So it's the same thing. Like, especially my female friends, you guys work through pain all the time, which most men would be in the corner crying. And then you tell yourself stuff like, "Oh, I'm uncomfortable on camera." That doesn't exist. Just throw that out. Block it the same way you block cramps. And I don't say that to be glib. I grew up in a house with 7 women, and I was the baby, so I understand you guys probably more than I understand my brothers.
Yeah, look, I always say it's a confidence muscle as well. Like with anything, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like lifting a weight in the gym, you'll come home, you'll be sore, you'll be uncomfortable. But the more and more you do it, the easier it gets to kind of block out that uncomfort. Look, I had to do a photo shoot the other day. My team have been annoying me for about 2 years to get a photo shoot. Oh my God, was I so uncomfortable. Here I am showing up on camera all the time, but when I have to stand there and like have a photo shoot done, and I'm like, just do it, Sally, just do it. And no matter, and the longer I was doing it, he goes, "Oh, look, you're starting to look a bit more comfortable on camera right now." But I had to do it regardless because my team have been using the same 3 photos for about 2 years.
That sounds like me. I got to make some new ones. At least you went to go get a shoot. I normally take it myself because I am a photographer, but I'll listen to what you said at the beginning. And although I am fully capable of doing it myself, I will delegate it this time. I'm going to call up my homegirl and be like, "Okay,
Yes.
let's get some shots." Because yeah, if I do it myself, it'll be good. If I let somebody else do it for me, it'll be great.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, why should I waste my time trying to figure it all out? And I'm a photographer as well, and I love photography. But like, actually, the guy that we hired did our wedding, my wedding, 19 years ago, and it was the day before our wedding anniversary that I had the photo shoot, and so we hadn't really seen each other. It was like divine intervention. Like it was amazing to catch up with him and see where he's gone and how he's transitioned over the last 19 years. And my husband came along too. So, it was like looking back at the memories.
That's cool. I
We had
love
one
that.
of those weddings that you would not forget. It was like a medieval wedding. I was like the princess. My husband had the chainmail and the sword, and we had Friar Tuck and all. Like, yeah, it was definitely a
Oh my
wedding.
goodness. Yo, I'm telling you, Sal, we are kindred spirits because that is my stuff. Do you know that I think in like a couple of weeks, they're coming out with Willow, like the new version of Willow?
Oh, really?
Oh my
I
goodness.
I
Like, I
I
love
love
that.
all of that stuff. Like,
What?
and purple. I was married in a purple velvet dress.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Oh, thank you, Joyce. Yes, Joyce was the one who forced me to go and have that photo shoot. She was like, "Go, you've got to do it. You've got to do it." All right. So, amongst all the platforms out there for going live, why Ecamm? What do you think makes Ecamm different from all the other platforms?
Everybody hates when I say this, and please don't come for me. Okay, listen. Most of the live streaming software, most of them have very similar tool sets, right? It's like probably everybody that you know that's an adult can drive. There's a couple of them that are really good drivers, right? So yeah, Ecamm is like that. We're a better driver than most other drivers. But to me, our number one feature is our community.
I knew
It
you were going to
sounds
say that.
crazy. It
Yeah.
sounds crazy, and everyone thinks I'm being some kind of Weisenheimer. I don't even know why I said that. Sounds like my grandpa. It is so amazing. You never have I ever. Wait, that's a drinking
Yeah,
game. Um,
it sure is. Hang on, I've only got coffee. It's not quite lunchtime here yet, but I'm sure you probably.
it's 2:27, so I can reach in the bottom drawer and pull out my friend. Never have I ever used a piece of software where, even as a beginner, you can go into the Facebook group and you'd be like, okay, gang, I installed it. I have not a clue what I'm doing. Help. And somebody would be like, send me a link. I'll jump on like within 5 minutes, right? Our support is not even as quick as our people just grabbing lint in the hand, right?
Yeah.
So, as a person who lives in Hawaii, and oh, thanks, my boss, I just got it done. Thank you, Dina. Wait, I'm talking to you. Um,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm in the grocery store as way taller than most of the people that live here. And one of the obachans, sorry, that's grandmother in Japanese, they'll look at you and be like, hey, can you give me that off the top shelf? So I'm used to just grabbing stuff, and that's faster than them waiting for an employee, right? I feel like our community is the same way. If you came in, and I remember you did this during Christmas, somebody was complaining about having a hard time doing something in Canva, and you're like, I'm brand new to Ecamm. I don't know what I'm doing in Ecamm, but I know Canva sideways. Hold down. And you popped right on and you started showing. And like you were brand new. This is like the second day you're in the community. And that's what I like about our community. You figure that helping hand thing out within seconds, and everybody will have your back and they'll be coaching you and pushing you along. And so you can come in and you can be down real quick.
Yeah.
And like all good things, yes, Trisha, we are Mac only.
Yes. Yes, it is. But that's all the cool kids use Mac. I'm telling you, the droids, they're everywhere, but not as good as the Mac. Mactard all the way.
It's a simplicity thing, and I have a bunch of people in our community who are hardcore Windows users, but for their streaming stuff, because a tool is a tool,
Hmm.
they will get a Mac Mini, which you can buy at, we have a store called Costco here, the warehouse store. You can buy a
Yeah.
Costco Mac Mini for 569, something like that. It's just under $600, and that's all you need. You need a basic Mac Mini and your iPhone, and you can rock an amazing live stream. Or you can get a piece of software for your PC that's like half of that price. Yeah, it's like 300, but you'll be driving yourself crazy trying to figure it out. And you don't have 20,000 cool kids that just like, well, got your back.
Yeah, look, the community is amazing. When I came in, was the Christmas thing. I remember cutting your heads out and making you dance on screen.
That was so funny. Oh my goodness. That was so funny. I was crying.
But
I
I
was
felt like
legit.
I fit into that community straight away, right? From just watching your
Yeah.
demos and then coming in, and everybody's so welcoming. And like you said, I couldn't figure something out. I posted something in the group, and within half an hour, you've gone live to show me how to do that thing, right? And other community members are doing it as well. And the Sparkle World's huge on community. We are massive on community, and I use Ecamm inside of Zoom as well because it adds that, fun flair
As,
of Zoom
as
too, not just on the live stream. There's
we say, what do we say? Add some boom to your Zoom. I usually eat that. We have corny stuff, people. I'm sorry. That's just how we are. We're a bunch of goofballs, and yeah, that's the best way to explain it. But
yeah.
and a lot of professionals in there. But I think the cool thing about Ecamm is it allows the professional people to let their creative side show. And I not see you'll understand this, and I won't get the feedback I get from everybody else. I hate it when people say that they're not creative because I'm like, yes, you are. And they go, well, what? No, but I was like, dude, you're sitting here creating excuses right now.
Totally. And, what I love, and Anna and Fulgence are going to come on as well as a guest in the future, right? When they started, they just got in and started playing with the software and building things. And I mean, if you have a look at some of the little like icons and that around like the bottom here of the screen, that's just Anna and Fulgence design right there with the little triangles and the little squares in the background. From watching them like just figure it out while going live. And now every week they run like a session teaching you how to build things in Ecamm. And, then you can get all these pretty designs and figure out how to put it together. And then, of course, I use a bit of Canva to add a bit of flair as well. What do you think in regards to like the whole going live thing? What's some important things that you would suggest to people to remember when they are going live?
I think the most important thing is to relax, have fun, and remember that it's live, right? And we have a new saying that live happens, right? We like to, sort of back it up with the old S happens type statement, right? Life happens. And so while you're doing your stuff, something will go haywire. You know what? Everybody is there for you because they know this happens when it's live. So don't freak out, don't panic, just relax, roll with the punches, and move on to plan B. And your audience is there for you. What I love about live is it allows us real-time connectivity with our people. It
Mm-hmm.
is if we were hanging out at a pub somewhere, slapping down the Fosters. See, I like to keep it,
Yeah,
match
right.
my
That's a bit
food.
Aussie right there.
Got to make it match you, right? So we want to be able to treat it as if you were hanging out with your friends and you were comfortable. And this is the cool part about these kind of chit chats, right? Because if we were at a bar somewhere, you and I would be having this exact same conversation, probably talking about some nerd stuff or whatever. And your audience is there the same way. They're talking to you, they're engaging. So, you know what, gang, hold on, wait a minute. I'm having an issue. Give me 1 second. And they're like, okay, I'll do stuff like talk amongst yourselves, which I totally stole from Saturday Night Live. Um, my people have watched me get up and walk away from the chair to go get whiskey and come back, and everyone's laughing. Like they're just loving it. I don't take myself that serious, even though I am doing something highly business oriented. Because you know what all business people are? People. Very few people are all business. The ones that are like that, they're kind of weird. You probably should watch out for them.
Yeah, definitely. I've done the same thing. I was actually being interviewed by Megan in Kajabi, and our podcast interview went on for nearly 3 hours. It was meant to be a 1 hour interview. She got up, went to the toilet. She's like, hold please, Sally, just like take over. I'm just sitting there talking while she goes, empties herself, comes back. And yeah, sometimes what I've done also when I've gone live and I need to kind of go do something and come back, I'll say, talk amongst yourself, and I'll leave them with a question. And they're like
Yes.
tippy tap typing backwards and forwards to each other, answering that question. It's super fun.
When you got
Yes.
a weed, give them homework and go weed and
Yeah.
come back. It's so simple. I'm
Exactly.
gonna give you a
So
quick homework real quick. Tell me what are you working on? What book are you reading? Or what movie have I not watched that I need to watch? I'll be right back. Phew.
yes, love that.
And then I click that, and then me and the missus, we'll sit on the couch and we'll go, well, how'd you find out about this? This is not something you normally watch. Man, one of the people in the live stream told me to watch it. And now
Yeah.
we're knee deep in some kind of like murder kind of mystery. And it's like, yo, good.
Hey, Reva's one of the sparklers. She's a diehard PC user, but down for getting a Mac Mini if she can get Ecamm and that community support. Reba, you totally should. We've actually got a trial link coming up for you soon, so you can give it a crack.
Really cool, Reba. You know what's real quick? Something that I learned from my dad actually. He used to always hammer into us like, don't fall in love with your tools, right? Because tools change and technology change, and all of the people that get stuck are the people that fall in love with these tools, and you don't have the flexibility to switch whenever you need to switch. He goes, you can respect them and like, adore them, but if you need to switch because it's going to be better for you, be flexible on that level. And I didn't take that to heart for the longest time because I love me a good manual shift. And then, a couple years back, you can't buy one nowadays. Like everything's automatic.
It
And I was like,
is.
nah, man, I need to buy me a car that's automatic. I got my first automatic, and I'm like, man, even though you can put it in manual shift mode, you can't outshift the computer. The computer's smarter than you. So now I'm like, hey, my hands are free. I can, hold the big gulp in the other hand or something. It's crazy. So yeah,
Hey,
just
hey, Paul's in the
don't
house.
block yourself.
Hey.
Mr. Vibe. That's
I love it. Love it. Well,
that's
look,
my version of Mar right there.
yes, yes. My Ma is amazing. She does a lot of background work, and I'm like, I want to interview this person, and she goes out and does all the things. I heard you say you reach into the drawer for whiskey. What's your favorite brand of whiskey? Do you have one?
I'll show you. It's right here. This is gonna sound funny because most people won't know. I like Nika Single Malt. This is a Japanese whiskey, but
Right.
just like everything else, something about Japanese culture, they'll take anything and then study it ad nauseum and then make it as good as, if not better than the original place. They're the only place outside of Scotland that's allowed to do whiskey without an E because they studied it that hard and got that good at it that the Scottish people said, okay, you gave us the go. Even the Americans, we can't do that. We got to put the EY.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. Now I know what to get you for Christmas.
I want to come down and visit you. Seems like fun. And
Yeah,
then
well,
I like to travel.
we've just had a new client who's joined us who is in Hawaii, but also I might be going to Florida in January, so
Nice, nice.
might be a little closer. Um, so one of my questions that my team asked me to ask you was, for those who are afraid of going live, what are some tips that you would give them to, I know it's all in the brain, but what are some tips that you could recommend to help them get over that fear?
I have a very easy one, and this is going to sound crazy, but trust me, like it's something I know. Okay, so I like to make notes in my phone. As you were watching me earlier, I'm taking notes in my phone so I can just remember some things. Why? Because I like to remember things that I can then use later on in one of my shows or one of my podcasts or as an advice, right? If you gave me good advice, I'm going to say, excuse me a second, I'm going to take a note. What I've started doing instead, go over here, pop up the bottom, press a little thing, camera comes on, and make your note right there. If you talk to your phone every day, if you remember TLC, Trading Spaces, rather, when they would switch the rooms and I'll paint your room, you paint mine, they would have them come on every day and talk about their apprehension, their feeling, the nervousness, whatever's going on, or the projects they were working on. If you journal to yourself in the phone by yourself, no one has to see it. Matter of fact, if you're scared someone to find it, delete it as soon as you're done. But just get into the practice. And if you do that for 30 days solid, you'll never have this problem. Because the
Yes.
only way to do anything at all, period, point blank, is to do it again. Right? So even people when they screw up their marriage, they do get married again. Why? Because the only way to get better at it is to keep doing it.
I think I love that and it's like a virtual, like it's your own vlog, right? Blog for yourself, taking notes, and there's so many ways to transcribe that these days as well. When I went live for 365 days, way back in 2017, I think it was, we went from 200 followers on my Facebook page, 2,000 followers to 70,000 in 12 months just through going live.
At the front door.
Yeah. Just
Come on,
and
girl.
some days, like, of course I was sharing knowledge bombs here and there, but some days, like, I had a fight with my husband, so I had all the big eyes and ugly face going on. So there was a fire that we had burning in the backyard, and I literally went live for like 20 seconds. Who loves to watch the fire flames dance? Love it. Done. I had eye surgery that year. I went live, And then, yeah, baby, you love the fire too. I'm a fire baby. I love the
And I
smell
know
of
why you
fire.
can't have a real fireplace, but I grew up in the East Coast where it's cold, so that's my fireplace. So
I love
24/7.
it. My daughter actually has really fond memories from growing up and camping and the smell of fire. And like I had eye surgery during that 365 days, and I literally got home from the hospital, went live for 2 seconds. Hi, I'm live. I'm home. I got nothing. Bye. But I went live. And then sometimes it was like therapy. Like I would just talk and then I would watch it back and I'd be like, Sally, you need to take your own advice. That's really great advice you're saying right now. So just by the act of talking itself brings out like stories you didn't even know you knew how to say. So yeah, I think that it is a fabulous thing. One thing I got from somebody who really helped me get over the fear was just pretend you're having coffee with your best friend sitting at your kitchen table.
100%.
That's it. Just
100%.
talk.
That's it. I
Yeah.
oftentimes talk to Paul, or you've been there. I talk to
Yeah.
you. Like that's what's cool about live. I'll pick something, right? Okay, so I'm reading in the comment that Dylan Rain has a happy birthday, right? So I would tell her something, and then that brings it down. I'm like, okay, first of all, happy birthday, but I want to know what you're gonna do in your birthday. Like how does it feel? Something like so. I'll ask a question or something, and I'll treat it like I'm talking to somebody, and that mellows your nerves. One thing I want to point to everyone so they can get over this apprehension as well is realize that when you were born, your eyes don't work for a while. The only thing that's working is your ears. People love stories. We are highly, highly, highly in tune to stories. The other thing, because your eyes don't work for a little while, is that you're in tune to your name. You get your name said about a 5,100 times in the first couple hours because mom is going, "Oh, Sally, my baby, you're so cute." My mom was going, "What the hell did I do?" But they're saying your name over and over and over again. And that first, then the grandma walks in and grandpa, and then all the aunties and uncles, and everyone's saying your name. So the first thing you understand is your name, right? And I was baby boy Doe, and for until my mom figured it out. No, I'm joking. But you want to, you by mentioning someone first, it helps you calm down. It helps them calm down. You just set a tone, and again, just hang out with your homies.
Yeah.
Simple. In the beginning, don't have an agenda. Just do chit chats. And you can start by telling the story until someone comes up, or invite a couple friends who you know will just come and be there and just get your practice in chit chatting. So, record yourself a little journal every day and you can delete it. Honestly, I like to keep them. You know why? Because if you look at it, Apple phone will pop up. 6 months ago, you made this. And I said, man, I need to see me drunk at my friend's house. Dummy, why you showing me the picture? But if you make a video, the video will pop up and you'll listen to it. And you're like, I can't believe I was so worried about that. And it was easy in the end. I was afraid for nothing. And then now you walk around chest out, cape winning, you're like superhero. So
Well, we actually, when people start with us, they're usually like a bit nervous. There's a lot of apprehension when they start our program, and we get them to do a live video after they've had their first session, not just to write down how the session was, but to actually share how they felt before they came in, after their first session, and then, their vision for the future. Because when they look back at it in 12 months' time, it's not just, the written word, but they can remember the feelings, the emotions, and all the things that they were feeling by watching themselves back. And I think that's super powerful to be able to see how much they've grown in 12 months' time. Because I regret deleting my very first live stream. Deleted it from everywhere, and I wish that I had kept it so I could look back at how awkward I was. I remember feeling the sweat roll down my back into my butt crack while I was sitting there petrified hitting that go live button. And I still remember it, but I wish that I had not deleted it. And I do ask people, don't delete your first, even if you just put it in a
never.
little secret place on your computer.
I mean, you might want to delete your first relationship, but
Yeah.
your life never.
Oh my God, yes. My parents are so glad that I didn't stay with him. They used to call him Lurch, and I could do better. They used to say.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We had somebody that we used to tease on we call Lurch because oh my man, I can't believe you remember Lurch. That's now I'm gonna be cracking up laughing thinking about this person.
Oh, I love hanging out with you. You're always so much fun. Now, you see, we don't just talk about, the thing. I like to kind of dig in a little bit more into you. And my girls always give me some sparkle questions. Oh, hang on. Priorities. My husband, he does me coffee every half hour on podcast day. Plus,
What?
yeah, plus
Yo.
he brings me lots of water to keep me hydrated, but a nice long black comes out about every half hour to 45 minutes on podcast day. He's so good.
Man, I like this guy already.
He has his own hashtag. Everybody needs a Danny. He washes, he cleans, he cooks, he does all the things. I'm actually
Hold on,
hiring a
baby, you can't be in
housekeeper.
trouble.
I'm hiring a housekeeper in the next couple of weeks because he's been doing all the things for me to get my business off the ground for so long. So he literally washing, cleaning, cooking, all the kid runs, everything. He's amazing. I am super blessed. But yes, yeah, look, if I could clone Danny, I would be not a millionaire, not a billionaire. I reckon I'd be a trillionaire because, yeah, Danny, yeah, everyone needs a Danny. He does it all. He does it all. All right. So we have some sparkle questions for you, Doc. So what is one common myth you would like to bust or debunk when it comes to your profession?
Oh, I love this. I absolutely love this question. Here you go. Super simple. Matter of fact, I want everybody to repeat it out loud. I don't care if you're going to be embarrassed, get over it. I want you to repeat out loud what I'm going to say because this is probably the best lesson you'll ever learn. There is absolutely no such thing as talent. Not a single ounce of it. It's no such thing as talent. The reason why Tiger Woods is one of the best golfers is he hit a couple million golf balls, right? Same with, Tom Brady or, I'll pick Cahill, I'll pick an Aussie. Reason why Cahill is such an awesome footballer, round, not handball, is because he's played almost 1,000 games and more if you count all the way since he was a kid. The dude practiced every day and he became one of the best footballers in England, even though he was from down under. So like you get good at what you get good at by doing it a lot. Period. There's no such thing as talent. And they say, oh, well, you're just a natural. No. How you gonna be a natural in camera? Cameras have only been invented for the last 40, 50 years. For
Yes.
for what we do, like
Yeah.
no one could be a natural at anything that fast. Most of us are older than cameras. When we were kids, camcorder were 3 different pieces. There was a camera, and then like a brain, and then like a tape, and it could record for like 10 minutes tops.
You
You
used
know
to
what I'm
roll a
saying? So
handle
like,
to make it record
yeah,
even, right?
right? I mean, like, come on, fam. You guys remember the VHS with the tracking? Just
Yeah.
stop. Don't get psyched out because you see somebody and you think that they are talented. All talent comes from work. Like you have to do the stuff. It is what even chefs used to burn stuff in culinary school. And now you pay $100 to eat one of their salads. Just saying. Like there's no
Yeah.
such thing as talent. So take that out of your head and then just do the work 1% better every day. That's all you got to do. 1% better
Yeah.
every day. It compounds really quickly. After about the 21st day, the compound is incredible. It just is.
If you do it, that's what I always say, like, because I always pick one thing to focus on every year that I want to get good at. So, I did the 365-day live. I did a year of good karma. I got sick of designing for people that didn't appreciate good design work and decided, you know what? I'm just going to design for people that I like. And if they want to donate to a charity, they'll do it. I'm really curious to see what would happen after a year of good karma. And then I won an award in front of thousands of people that I didn't expect. Other years, like this year, it's all about Ecamm, right? I want to figure out Ecamm. Another year, it was about learning how to run live challenges. So pick one thing and go all in. And if you just do a little bit every day I open Ecamm for something. And, things change and software changes, and I've got to relearn where the buttons are sometimes. But every day, if you do that little thing right, you will get better at it. You've just got to want it. And especially people in
You
our
know,
industry, creators, we want
yeah,
to
yeah.
transform lives, right?
You know what's funny is people always say what they can't do, and then I'm always telling them like, well, okay, well, what if there was this trigger where you kind of like had no choice, and it's oh yeah, now I probably could do it then. Well, then just give yourself the fake trigger. It was like, oh, I can't not hit the snooze button. I hit the snooze button. I was like, no, stop doing that. Like I made it a point eons ago. I don't snooze. As soon as the thing goes off, as irritated as I am, feet have to hit the floor within 10 seconds because if not, you go back to sleep. Because I can't do that. As I bet you if I threw a snake in the bed, yes, yep. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, well, so to get a rubber snake, put the rubber snake over there and put it right next to the snooze button. And so it'll give you, it don't have to be the real thing. It could just be the picture that this is a snake. I need to put my feet on the ground.
Yeah.
If your kid's life depended on you never hitting the snooze button ever again, you would never have that problem. And somebody told me that, and I was like, well, I know kids. And they're like, don't be a smart, you know what I mean, right? But, seriously, just
Yeah, yeah,
stop
yeah.
taking yourself out over stuff because everybody else is psyched out over it.
Well, I don't have to wake myself up because I have a Danny. He wakes me up.
I knew you were going to say that.
He literally goes to bed overnight and he goes, what time you got to get up? And because probably 80% of my clients are actually in America. Sometimes I'm up at 4 and 5 a.m. in the morning. He still sets the alarm to wake me, even though he doesn't get up. And if it's really cold, he'll even run the shower so I can go from warm bed to warm shower. Like, just
Love
saying,
it.
everyone needs a Danny.
I love it. I love my favorite corny joke is like a dad joke. It's like, man, do you ever? Because I'm in a good mood all the time, right? And it's like, do you ever wake up angry? I go, yeah. Sometimes I wake her up. Sometimes I let her sleep. And then Karen just looks at me like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm like, see.
Oh, look, I had a coach once who she was coaching me but never watched me on the live stream. One day she decided, after about 6 months, she would watch one of my live streams. She watched it and she called me and I was like, oh, hi, how are you going? She's like, I just watched your live stream. And I said, oh, great. Yeah. I'm guessing you've got some advice or something or, did you like it? I was like really eager to hear. And she goes, Sally. And I'm like, yes, Barbara. She goes, you need to take a really good hard look at yourself. And I'm like, why? You're too bubbly.
Oh my goodness.
I was like,
my goodness.
So you're telling me not to be me. I'm like this at my kitchen table having dinner with my family and they're going, oh, Mum, right? Because I'm just acting stupid and crazy. It's just what I do. I like to have fun. Life is too short to sweat the small shit.
Right.
Right. And not many things like piss me off or get me worried. And she's telling me don't be too bubbly. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fired. You're telling me not to be me.
How I mean, man, more people need to be bubbly. I think too many people take too many things serious. And well, what it is there's things that you can't control. So the minute I know I have no control over it, it's out of my head because I can't do nothing about it.
Yep.
Things that I can't control, I'm like that. I'm gonna try to control every ounce of it. Like I'm probably over controlling of the things that I can, but things that I can't, I just don't put myself in it. And when I was a younger cat, I used to tell all my friends, I'm like, why do you guys spend so much energy worrying about what your girlfriends do? And it's like, oh, because, I don't want her to do this. And I'm like, bro, let me explain something to you. She got one daddy and you ain't it. I don't care what you say to her. If she wants to do it, she's going to do it. And right now she might listen to you. But when she figures out that you're holding her back, you're done.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, man, like she's cool. It's like she listened to me. I'm like, she's pretending to listen to you because something that you have right now fits what she needs. If your pushing does not line up with her needs one day, you're gone because the other person out there that's ready to take her from you will not tell her what to do. And like nobody likes more than one parent. None of us like anybody to tell us what to do. Period, point blank. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
You give in because you choose to give in. So knowing that, then don't be running around trying to tell people what to do. Like, just let it go.
Exactly. They are the masters of their own choices, and if you try to control them, they will not want to be controlled for very long. And look,
Yeah.
a huge thing I've learned. I mean, I've been married 19, together 22 years with my husband. The huge thing we learned as we sort of started to grow up, at the beginning, we were our everything, right? Oh, love at first sight, you complete me, all the things. Now it's like we are different. We are so different. I do me, he does him, and we meet somewhere in the middle and hang out in the garden and, do all the things. And we come together in hard times. It always makes us stronger. But we're two different people, and I think that was a
Yep.
huge learning thing for us is that where he won't talk to me, like you and I, we could sit up talking all night, right? He's not a talker. So I
Yeah,
find
you make
people like
coffee.
you and my peeps to talk with. I was actually sitting reading Excel spreadsheets the other day going, oh my God, he reads lines of code all day. And I had to go through this Excel spreadsheet. And I was sitting in the office chatting to my peeps in Zoom. And I said, I don't know how Danny looks at lines of code all day. And he yells from his office, I don't know how you talk all goddamn day.
Oh my goodness. That is super awesome.
Oh,
That is
so
super
awesome.
awesome.
All
I
right.
mean, can you just imagine we wouldn't have water if hydrogen thought it was oxygen?
Right? I know. Oh my goodness. So here we go. Another question for you. I really love this one. So, who are 3 people that have inspired you along your life's journey?
You're going to hate this answer.
No.
But a long time ago, I had a mentor, and he was a billionaire. He was a really cool cat. And he goes, everywhere you go, people to tell you all the time to look at these people for inspiration and where to find inspiration from or whatever. You have to become your own biggest inspiration.
I love that.
And I was like, what? Like that? Man, you crazy. And he was like, all right, well, I'm going to get this lunch. And, he pulls out the black card and he's like, being smart about it. And I'm like, okay, like, explain it to me. And he goes, because, and this is something I teach my people, which is kind of insane because you just brought it up. Yes, I do look to outside inspiration. Absolutely. I love outside inspiration. I spend part of my time every day looking for such. Some of my favorite peoples are Maya Angelou. Like, absolutely love her to death. Right. And, there's more. Right. But inspiration requires perspiration.
Yes.
So I get so irritated. I cuss my people out when they're like, "Oh man, that's so inspiring," and then they don't do nothing. Because do not kiss my butt. Do not blow smoke up my okole. I'll use the Hawaii word. Do not blow smoke up my okole, right? You're not gassing me up. I'm a Virgo, cocky. I'm the only male in the house full of females, cocky. I'm Puerto Rican, cocky. I don't need you to gas me. I gas myself, right?
I love it.
So with that said, if I truly inspire you, please do whatever inspired you. When I read a book and I'm inspired by something that Maya Angelou wrote, or I'm inspired by like something Neil deGrasse Tyson says, I will go and further research that or further try to do that. I try to bring these things into fruition because inspiration without perspiration is just aspiration. And we know what the first part of that word is. And I don't want to
Yes.
be. And Paul would tell
Yes.
you, I'm not lying. Like, I legit curse my people out. Even the people that come to the stream and go, this is fire. Every stream, this is fire. I will DM them, never show up in my stream and say, this is fire again.
Yeah.
Why? I'm like, because this is fire because I was stuck and I think I have a way out. I'm glad you brought that to the table. That is providing value to the community. Spouting out, yay! Man, I could put that joint on a loop with the sound effects over. I could do that myself. Like, don't just like, that doesn't do anything. Why? Why was it good? That's positive feedback, right? And with feedback, I can grow. And if I can grow, I can grow more for you. And the reason why you just have to know this, like, you cannot be blindly inspired if it doesn't cause you to do any action. It just doesn't work. And so if you're spreading it, then you're active and the next person will pick it up from you. And now you're being inspiring yourself. So you're carrying it on. So inspiration without perspiration is just aspiration, and don't be an ass.
Yes. And I love that. And you inspire yourself. And what you said there is looking at other people that inspire you, digging in deep, and then like being able to bring that out in yourself. I think that that's, a really valuable lesson to people is look at people that inspire you, but then how can you recreate that in yourself so that
Yes,
you
recreate.
can
Take it and recreate it. That's okay. Now I can fix my description better. Thank you, Sal.
You're welcome. So you never know what's going to fall out when we talk, right?
Yeah, you gotta put it into action, because if you don't, you're not really inspired.
Yeah. Look,
I mean,
hang on. I
think
have.
with dictionary, if the dictionary would probably explain it. Yeah. So
Yeah, I have
gotta
a
look it
few.
up.
Oh, it's not here. I have a few affirmation cards. So this is one of them, and he's not behind me right now, but I usually have P1 and P2, my two poos, but I had to take them on the photo shoot the other day. But this one gets you done, right? And the other one here, which is not in my little thing, which is imperfect action. Like the faster you can do things and do them wrong, the quicker you can learn. And that success loves speed. So you need to do it fast. It's scary. Shit falls over. Stuff breaks. But you'll learn so much faster and you'll get there faster as well. So no matter how scary it is, like jump out of the plane. Just give it a go. My dad's actually going skydiving next week, and I'm hoping to go with him as well. I've never been, but I'm scared shitless.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Look, once I do it once though, like the skydiving, I've done bungee. I've done it once. I'm good, but I want to try everything at least once. Life's too short. All right, here's a great one for you. If you could step into my shoes and be interviewing you, what's a question that you would have asked yourself?
What? Come on now.
Yeah.
That is really good. That is really good. Okay, here's a question, and it's funny. I just realized it, and Paul, I have a very similar question. I go, you've done lots of interviews, and people ask you all these things all the time. What's the one question people don't ask you that they should? Your question is basically like mine.
Same thing. Yeah. Love it.
So here's mine. What next? Right? Because people always ask me lights or cameras, or like, how did you get this look? Or what is this trick you did? And the question that no one ever asked me that they should is, what should I be doing next? Like, what should I be studying next? What should I be learning next? And that's the question I wish more people would ask me, because I am a person who goes hunting for the trends or the things like that. But yeah, I think a lot of people, like, they'll get their camera and say, okay, I got my camera, I figured everything out, but what should I learn now? And it's like, okay, now let's get into composition, right? Let's work with your angles, let's work with your things. So I'll pick your world, right? What should everybody learn next? Okay, you got the design right, but you should learn font picking and font pairing, right? And it's actually typefaces. So let's start there.
Yes. Oh, look, hey, I'm a typography girl. I love it.
Yeah,
I
you know what
actually
I'm saying?
designed
Right?
my own typeface once. It took me like 7 months to design my own typeface because it's very tricky to make all of the, the kerning and everything work. But yeah, like.
Even as a topographer, if someone says, I'm a topographer, like, what should I be learning less? I'm like, go find who around you still has old school letterpress and ask them, can you hang out for a couple of days? So you can see why letting is letting and kerning is kerning.
Kerning,
'Cause
yeah.
we
The old
didn't just make these
Gutenberg,
words up.
right?
Right? I like, go do some actual letterpress. Like, I have ink still that I can't get off that's been there for years from when I used to mess around with that stuff. And that's the kind of things that allows us to get better, right? That's digging deep. And like any chef person would tell you, man, go do some sauces. Like, you keep making these recipes, but if you want to level up any recipe, make a sauce. And like all the fancy places, the sauce kind of stands there like this little ball of foam. And it's like, when the heck did foam come out? We used to click it off the beer, and like now they're putting it on the plate. Yeah, somebody figured out foam means you can charge $20 more for the plate.
So it's not just about like going live and setting all the things up. It's digging deeper into composition, typography, space. Like everyone feels like
Yep.
they got to fill the space. There's so many different points to composition. So that I think is
In
a
our
really
world, is
good.
interview technique. And by the way, you get a solid 10 out of 10. Your interview game is on point.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
but I like right now, I've been talking to Paul and Keely and some other people in my inner circle about generating an interview workshop because it's painful to watch people who I know are great people, but they do horrible interviews. I'm squirming every time they ask a question that should never be asked, or they just ask something cliche. Ooh, Thally, what's your favorite color?
What star sign are you? We know you're a Virgo now.
You know, the funny thing about favorite colors per se is, let's just tell you why this is a stupid question. Because you and I will say purple real quick,
Oh, quite. Yeah.
but there's 32,678 variations of purple.
I
So
know.
with 16.7 million colors available, how the hell am I supposed to pick one?
I know. So I'm the blurple side of purple. So I like the more violet blue side. I do not like the maroon side of purple. So when people buy me things, I'm like, it has to be the blurple side, the violet side. More blue, I'm more cool than hot. I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to kind of run off the back of that. What next? What's next for you?
Ooh, okay. So I just mentioned I am trying to put together two courses that I want to get out right away. And I've never built a course. So this is me being a rookie at something. And I want to build one on interview techniques because it's painful to hear bad interviews. And I've just interviewed lots of people because of radio. And I want to build a Final Cut course because my community keeps looking at me crooked. Like, if you don't hurry up and do this, we will murder you. So they're outside chanting with the fire and the sticks. And like Paul is probably doing some kind of like voodoo thing right now.
Yeah.
Because my community, they just keep getting on my case about it. So it's just something I have to do. Because otherwise, they're going to stake me.
I love that. Well, we'll have to chat. Also, that interview one I think would be fabulous. Maybe we need to get you in as an expert into our community, because what we do after our clients create their courses and set up their live events to attract clients, they've got to work on traffic. And a huge thing we teach our clients to do is interview other people that are in a complementary niche to you. And do it live, because you tap into each other's audiences and what you get to learn so much. And when you can find a complementary, not competitive business, expert in their field, you start to build amazing collaborations. So in regards to that, it would be, we should definitely talk about bringing you in as like one of our experts that we bring in to teach inside the Sparkle world.
I'm down 100%. But I do want to give everybody a pass, right? You can say Uncle Doc said. You are allowed to bring in, okay, let's say we're going to talk about making pizza. My skill level from 1 to 10 on making the pizza right now is 2. You could bring on other 2s and you guys can interview 2s together. You don't always have to have a 10 to come in and tell you how to make the pizza. You can talk about the struggle, because hashtag the struggle is real. You can absolutely interview people on your journey that are in the same spot as you on your journey. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, because they're always trying to become the expert so they can do what they want to really do. You can shine from a small glow, right?
Or
Like
sparkle.
if it's dark, a sparkle, that's the word. If it's dark outside, a match would do you proper. You do not need the full like Bushman torch that can light up a whole field. That match sometime would
Beautiful.
just do. So it's
Yes.
very important. Get in where you fit in, and then you will be the expert at some point.
Yeah, well, look, that's what I did as well. Like, I would interview people and talk to people, same area, still up and coming and all of that. But the more you put yourself out there, the more you get seen by other people, and then I've had the privilege of being able to interview people like Doc Rock himself, Amy Porterfield, Pat Flynn, so that was just through starting off by just getting out there and talking to people and sharing stories. And, eventually these other, it filters through. You'll be surprised where your stories and who your stories filter through to get to other people. They call them the micro and macro influencers, those that are just starting out. One of our girls, Erin, she literally had never used Instagram, didn't have an account, 0 followers. And she did a really fabulous thing. She pounded the pavement, knocked on doors for anyone she could find to talk to on her Instagram live stream. Within 3 months, she had over 1,000 followers, and now she's like closing like clients and all the things just through asking, right? Getting her ask into gear and just asking, hey, you want to have a chat? Let's do it live. And so now she's starting to do actual joint ventures and collaborations with some of these people as well. And yeah, I think the
Did you
way
say getting her ask into gear?
yeah, get her ask into gear. I actually
I
have a
love
card
that.
for that one too. See? My birds
Yes,
chewed on
I
that one.
love that. I love that. And my favorite one that I use all the time on my brother-in-law is don't be an asshole. If you ask me something and I give you the answer and then 2 weeks later you still ain't done it, I get super irritated because you bothered me,
Yeah, I
right?
actually
Especially when you
have.
call me in the middle of something like don't be an asshole.
It's not here. My husband's moved it. I have a purple whip that I ring out when I tell people to like go do the thing, right? And they don't. I'm like, do I have to get out the purple whip? And I physically have a physical purple whip I grab. And so my community go, oh, I better do it because Sally will bring out the whip.
There you go. See, man, sounds
Right? Make them perspire, run and go and do the thing.
there you go. Well, you know what it is if when you learn something, if you put it to action right away, you'll remember it more. People's like, well, I'm having a hard time remembering such and such. I'm like, write it on a card. That's first action. And then walk around the block and read the card. That's the second action. And they go, what's walk around the block have to do with anything? Our bodies were trained from when we were in the cave that you learn while you're moving. We learn while we do, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes simple as take something that's hard for you to get. It could be anything. And then write it on the card and walk around the block while you do it. It's in your brain. Your brain is connected to action. We're humans. That's what it works.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I learnt this thing that's called the forgetting curve, right? So like we'll spend lots of money or we'll go and do training to go to a conference and we take a plethora of notes, right? You just taking notes and notes and notes and notes. And what can happen within 24 hours, you will lose about 75% of the knowledge that you learnt in that conference.
Dang.
So here's a tip. Within 24 hours, rewrite your notes. Okay. And then I usually break them into 3 things. Things I'm going to take action on, right? So I put that list down. Things I want to do more research on. So there might be, books to read and things like that. And the third one's things to do later, right? And so I break them. I literally get 3 books and I write them all out. Research, action, and maybe later. Then the action ones, every day for 10 minutes for the next 2 weeks, read them. Like just spend 10 minutes a day. What's the action and what are the things you need to do to get to that outcome? You'll start taking the action, but it reduces the forgetting curve and you'll retain more information in your brain. And do them while doing something. Like you said, like walking or, and 10 minutes sitting on the toilet. I mean, you're doing something.
Yeah, exactly. Man, that's the best place to learn. People don't know, man. The throne is magic. That's what you get it done. And
Shower thoughts, toilet thoughts, right?
I told a couple people in my community to buy a waterproof pad, man. Amazon waterproof pad, $12. Stick it right in the shower.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed. Because they always come to you in the shower. And then when you get out, you be like, what? Especially if you did the 80s like I did the 80s. Just saying.
I think I did. I totally think I definitely did. Best shower thought I ever had was the Voz. This was back in 2015 when nobody knew about Zoom. And I opened a Zoom room and just let people come in and hang out all day. And now it's actually part of our program. We have an open Zoom room, 8 hours a day, 4 days a week, where one of my team members sit in there and our clients can either sit in there and work or they can, jump in and do quick questions. Where do I find that button for that thing? Or can someone quickly read my email and proofread it for me? And then there's the little breakout room. So Sally's office, Kat's office, Megan's office. And we've been using Zoom since 2015. Great thing about COVID is now we don't have to teach it. Wish I had shares, but I always thought,
That's amazing.
how could I, like, anyone who has a VOS, the virtual office space in the Zoom room, like, it's open all the time. Now, we say 8 hours a day, but we're in there nearly every day. I see my team and my clients more than I see my family. My family, like my computer screen's in the corner, so they could still come in and, not be seen. Because there's always a Zoom room open inside of our world, and our clients love it because they're never alone, especially as, solo or up-and-coming entrepreneurs. Yes, Discord, right? You in there playing games and things like that. I haven't, I started to do Discord and I never really got into Discord. I need
Girl,
to.
we got to. First of all, you need to call Keely and get her on your show, and you understand we are working. Like we don't have any games in our room. And that's the one thing bad about Discord. It's going to take them a long time to shake the gamer thing.
Yeah.
But it's really really dope, and that's why we just made one for Ecamm too. So like we have a office space. We call them co-working, but we just open up and we're all in there working on our stuff. Because as a creator, especially a solo creator, working by yourself, even though sometimes you have family on the other side of the house, they're not in your world. So it's just really awkward and boring and whatever to be this by yourself. So half the time we don't even talk. We're just in there. We got the music going. We're working. But if I look up and I see my people and there's like 5 or 6 of us chilling in there, and he's just like, oh, okay. And you just know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I have to remember not to pick my nose when I'm in there, but other than that, like it's cool. We can just pop on and ask a question. It's like, man, guys, I'm stuck on this thing. I'm trying to write this email and I just need another line. And they're like, oh, try this, So if you haven't done so already and you're building something, man, one of the first things you could do is build a virtual office space. Or I call them co-working room because I used to own a physical co-working space.
Yeah.
So same smell. It is life. It's like the water cooler, we'll take a break and talk about Stranger Things or whatever.
All right.
Else.
Yes. Stranger Things. Umbrella Academy's just come out too. So
Oh my God, my favorite show. I love Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, so the same. I'm gonna have to. I've thought about moving our community. Well, we use Slack a lot of the time, but and Zoom is always open. But yeah, I played around in Discord back when Loria did the live streaming pros event, and I was in there, and I'm like, oh, this is super fun. I'd never really played around in it before, and then my daughter heard the sound, and she goes, "Mum, you've got Discord." And I'm like, I must be all right, cool now, because my 17-year-old thinks I'm like trendy. I'm in Discord.
That's what I tell everyone. Oh my God. I tell everyone, hey, the reason why you want to join my Discord is because your kids are going to find out that you're in Discord. And plus, our Discord is pretty dope, right? Keely did the decorating and it's amazing. And most of the kids don't have servers that look as cool as ours. So my 12-year-old niece, she's like, Uncle, you got this much people on Discord? And I go, yeah. She's like, oh, how you know about Discord? I'm like, I'm the nerd uncle. Remember, I'm not your parents. And she goes, oh, I should know. And it's crazy. So she was in the Ecamm thing the other day, and we had a happy hour on Friday. I swear to you, there's like 20 people in there hanging out. Everybody's got their drink, and we're just laughing and having fun. And I got such street cred from the 12-year-old because there's 20 of us chilling in Discord instead of Zoom because that's old and boring. And
yeah. That's where the old people hang out, a bit like Facebook, right? So also, well, I'm going to have to come and hang out more in your Discord channel and learn. And yes, definitely, let's get Keely on it to teach us all about it, because I did have fun in there, and I started learning, and then my brain's just so full of all the other things I'm doing right now. I mean, it's a year of Ecamm right now, so I've still got another 6 months of learning Ecamm. So before I jump all in.
If you've ever participated in a forum, like old school forum back in the bulletin board days,
like the Yahoo days, right?
Yeah, Yahoo days, you're fine. You already know exactly what to do. Nothing will be a learning curve. You've been doing it since we did it before everything turned into Facebook. So it's like everybody that complained about it, that came in the Ecamm one, now they're like, oh, this is just like old school BBS, but we got cameras and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you. Like stop psyching yourself out for nothing. Just
I did
telling you.
make myself a little sparkle bot though, like the Mi 6 one, but actually made my
Yeah.
own little bot with its own little
Mine
avatar.
is a Jar Jar bot.
Mine's Dr.
And
Sparkle.
it's super funny. And the reason why they picked Jar Jar bot is because I'm such a diehard Star Wars nerd. They knew that it would irritate me. So that was Keely. That was Keely being a punk.
I love it. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Let's stick the link in for the Discord channel for sure. And yes, we will definitely get Keely in to teach our peeps all about Discord. Now you've got me inspired. My team will be like, no, Sally, not another thing. It's like,
No, it's easy. You guys will have so much more fun. And don't tell anybody because you'll like it better than Zoom, and you'll see why once you start playing around.
yeah, we've got to get him in there. Yeah, that's it. Teaching the old dogs new tricks, which is what we do around here, right? We've got to grow. Don't get attached to your tools. We spoke about that earlier, right? Because there's always going to be something better coming out. Well, Doc, this has been awesome. Make sure that everyone follows Doc. He's on YouTube and all the places. Like, where's the best place people can go to like stalk your stuff?
So easily, like right now, YouTube and Instagram, and I'm pretty much Doc Rock on everything.
Yeah.
I'm rare. There are a few rare occasions where I'm not that, but I'm Doc Rock on just about anything. And Instagram, I've been just doing reels because I don't know who suckered me into it, but for like the last month and a half, I've been going ham on reels. It's so much fun. Like it is so much fun. And then at YouTube, of course, and you can reach me at Ecamm all over. But I would honestly tell you, if you just want to be around other creators, no matter where you are in your journey, just go docrock.live, because live streamer / Discord, and pop in, and you'll be like, okay, these are my people, because we're all weird. We're drinking a lot
That's okay.
and working on our craft. So hey, come hang out.
I love it. I love it. Well, there you go, guys. Thank you so much, Doc Rock. I've had a ball. If I didn't have another guest lined up very soon, I think I could just keep talking to you. We always have a blast when we're together, and we'll have to get you back for many more episodes.
I just want to say thank you because that was amazing. Mahalo, as we say.
Oh,
and I hope no one's sitting back there thinking like they're too old to do any of this. In the chat, there's my man, Mr. Moderator, Paul Duncan. Paul is in his 6-somethings. I won't out him 100%. He started like a year ago, and Paul is the master in just a year at 60 some odd. And it's just, trust me, don't tell yourself you're too old. It's just not. No.
We'll all be learning. I always say I'm going to be learning every day until I'm dying, and then I'll be learning how to do that well, because it's the way to keep going.
I'm stealing that. I'm sorry. I'm telling it down.
Totally. Hey, I always say to everyone, stuff falls out of my mouth, or I teach stuff, and I always say, take my shit, add your own sparkle, right? It'll 100%. Come out differently when it comes from you. All right, guys. Well, look, that was an amazing topic. Now, today also, I just want to say, here is a free trial for Ecamm. So if anyone wants to like make their things look this awesome, and like Doc said, you don't even have to be a Mac person. Just go get yourself a cheap Mac and give it a crack. And there's so much training on the Ecamm network. There is also building blocks with Anna and Fulgence, teach you how to do all of the fancy things as well. Or, just begin with like a lower third, right? And go live, hit the button, and then figure it out as you go. So go grab yourself a trial. Seriously, guys. It's so much fun. And join me in, my 12 months of the Ecamm year. All right. Fabulous. Yay. All right. Well, we're going to head on out now. We are so thanking Doc for his amazing knowledge bombs. You are the man. I love hanging out with you, and moving forward, we have another podcast coming up. We have some amazing guests lined up for you still. So coming up next, we have Johan. He'll be here at the top of the next hour, which is like less than 40 minutes away. So make sure you join us for that. But until our next episode, which is only 40 minutes away, set that timer. We'll join you. Thank you.